welcome to the AIMHO 365 webinar on the Introduction to AIMHO, presented by Jessica Siegfried. My name is Sam Cole, and I'm part of the AIMHO 365 committee. A big thank you to Jessica for developing this presentation, offering to share her knowledge with the region. We'll be taking questions during the presentation using the chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen. If everyone logged on can actually test that chat feature by typing in your campus name as well as how many attendees are viewing with you today, please. This webinar will be recorded and uploaded to the AIMHO 365 YouTube page, and the link will be available through our aimho.org website. Please be checking the aimho.org website often for future webinars as well as to submit webinar proposals. And then at the end of this webinar, there'll be a brief, short survey. If you have time and don't mind filling it out, we would greatly appreciate it. Again, a huge thank you to our presenter today, Jessica, and we're all yours.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Siegfried. I know sometimes on these webinars it can be a little challenging to kind of understand who you're speaking with, so I thought I'd just put a little photo of myself. That's what I am. That's what I look like. Currently, I am in the role as the Director of Residence Life here at Snow College in Ephraim, Utah. It's a small two-year institution with several four-year degrees, and I've been working with AIMHO for about 9 years, and recently was selected as a senior member at large, which essentially means that I'm the individual that helps with getting our senior housing officers connected, as well as some of our entry-level professionals with the region. And today I'd like to kind of speak a little bit on how you can be productive here at the AIMHO Conference and how you can get involved and spend your time most wisely. So if you want, go ahead and hit that chat bar over on the right-hand side. Go ahead and let me know what university or institution you're from and how many attendees we have in the audience, so I kind of know who I'm speaking with today. If you have questions as I go throughout the presentation, you're welcome to go ahead and place those in the chat menu, and I will go ahead and answer those as we're moving along. Perfect. So to get started, a little bit about AIMHO. So it was first established in 1956 at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, and then really what its mission and goals were is to improve and coordinate housing and food services. Oftentimes we see that those two are collaborative resources for our students, and we've offered both opportunities for housing and food services to get together at our annual conferences. In addition, we're hoping to aid in higher learning for our students and staff members. Hence why we're always having emails that go out. I hope the folks that are on our chat today have been linked up with our AIMHO listserv so that we can receive additional opportunities. But also one of our main goals is to open up all of our housing officers and institutions to additional higher education pieces and get connected. We did establish many moons ago that our annual conference would be held each November. We try to coordinate that date specifically with all of our other regional conferences, whether that's ACUHO, if that's ACUHO. We try to make sure that we get a calendar together so that way we're not overlapping. The states in our region are Arizona, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, and Saskatchewan, Canada. What we try to do as an entity at AIMHO is we actually have state representatives from each of these states that tries to reach out to our contact points to kind of let them know what's happening within our region. Those are called SPRs, and I'll talk a little bit about them a little later in the presentation in case you're seeking an opportunity for additional leadership. Our mission and core values at AIMHO is to provide our members opportunities to learn, collaborate, and network with our advanced best practices and stewardships of colleges and universities of residential communities. But the core values were also established with the anticipation and the help of our actual institutions, where we have an executive board that meets regularly that facilitates these conversations to see what it is that we can do to better benefit our region. And some of the core values that were established were we needed to be student-centered, meaning whenever we are at our annual conference, we're really hoping that the information that we gain, we can then take back to our students to help them become more involved in our individual institutions. We also focus a lot on inclusivity and involvement. And there are lots of opportunities at the conference to get involved, and we're going to talk a lot about those today. And then additionally, commitment to social justice and responsible citizenship. Social justice and diversity takes a really big step in our AIMHO conference. We really focus on how we can help those entities and help those groups to become more involved in our region, as well as how we can develop better resources at our individual institutions. And we also like to make very data-informed leadership decisions. And so oftentimes, like the survey that'll be at the end of this webinar, we collect all that data, as well as at the conference there's several opportunities to complete surveys. So that way we can have a better understanding of what our region is expecting from us so we can give a better product. So talking about the conference itself, so this year our conference is held November 10th is kind of when many people are going to be showing up, but it is actually that Sunday that folks will be arriving. And I'm not sure if any of our listeners are going to be attending AIMHO College, but that is a pre-conference opportunity for entry and mid-level professionals to get together to better understand AIMHO, but not only that, but to develop the skills that will help them be better leaders within their actual institutions at the roles that they are at. I do believe that registration is still open for that. It's about $150 in addition to the conference registration. And it's a really great opportunity if you're a first-time AIMHO goer or if it's only your second or third. They do have really great lineups this year of professors and instructors, and so I'm hoping that we're getting a lot of attendance for that because it's a really swell opportunity. Our conference generally starts on a Sunday, ends on a Tuesday, and this year it is in lovely Las Vegas. We're going to be at the Golden Nugget. Sometimes people, if they're a first-time goer to AIMHO, they're not sure what to bring to the conference, so I thought just a little list would be helpful. Try to bring some campus apparel. A lot of times we don't know what institutions folks are from unless you look at everybody's name tag, but it is pretty easy if you're wearing a polo with your logo. We do hold silent auctions all throughout the conference, so if your institution hasn't thought of it yet, it might be something good to bring up to bring some materials from your university, whether it's a basket or not. We like to use those opportunities to help with the ACUHO-i Foundation, and other opportunities for that too are to just get folks involved and kind of donate to the cause of AIMHO, and also just to kind of get your institution's name out there, which is really nice. There will be a lot of connections opportunities, so I advise bringing a lot of business cards. And when I mean a lot of folks are generally bringing like a stack with a rubber band around them because it's just really great for them to kind of just get to meet all of the different entities that are at AIMHO. In addition to that, you're going to be attending some sessions. The layout of the conference is really great because we start off with a nice welcome banquet on Sunday, and after that banquet, folks will lead into their state meetings where you'll meet with your individual states, and from that point, there is kind of an evening event that everyone ends up going to, and then the next day, Mondays and Tuesday, is really filled with session opportunities where note-taking. We do encourage technology at our conferences, so tablets or laptops, or if you prefer to take text notes, all those are acceptable. And the other piece to that technology is we do have what's called a guidebook app. If you haven't already downloaded the app, it is a free app. Just go to your store and then you can download it just by going to Guidebook. They will be in the next few days if they haven't already. They'll be posting the guidebook and it'll be under AIMHO 2017. You'll want to download that app. It has the full schedule. In addition, the Guidebook app is a really great opportunity for connections. We do input all of the attendees into the Guidebook app. So if you find yourself, you can upload a photo, your business information from your business card, and you can actually virtually trade business cards through that app. So it's a pretty great opportunity to kind of keep all that collected and not feel like you're going to lose information. As you go through the app, you'll be able to select which sessions you plan on attending and also what events in the evening you're going to attend as well. That gets updated all throughout the conference, so if there's any changes that will be the location that they have for all that information. And as you're packing your bags, just a simple piece of advice not many people know, but the ending banquet is a bit semi-formal. Most folks wear just kind of their dress best, and it's a really great sort of meal. I think this year they're actually doing like filet mignon and some sort of chicken and a great vegetarian dish. So it kind of depends each conference what it is, but I know they're going to have a really great event planned for all of us. All right, and so at the conference, talking about some of those specific opportunities, on Sunday, whenever folks are arriving, there is the opportunity for a newcomer's orientation. So right now, you're kind of getting an AIMHO 101 sort of piece. But at the newcomer's orientation, you can expect to meet executive board members. You can expect to meet the individuals that are part of the different committees that collectively help create AIMHO. In addition to newcomers, they're going to tell you kind of how the conference is going to run and the unique opportunities at this specific conference, pending if there's been any changes. And then the next piece is called Connections. This is where those business cards come into play. At Connections, we have a room set up essentially with different topics of interest. You walk in, there's going to be senior housing officers, also known as SHOs. Some of you may know them as CHOs, and those individuals are going to be there speaking on those specific topics. It's really casual. It kind of looks like a mixer, and as you go through, you kind of go to each table. If it sounds like, oh yeah, I'm really interested, you stay as long as you like. If you're like, well, this doesn't really apply to me, you're welcome to move on to a different topic. It's very ebb and flow with that. But it's a good time to exchange those business cards and make some contacts. So if you're working on a project at your institution, you may get some good points of contact to reach out to after the conference to get additional information. Also, we have those state meetings that I talked briefly about before, and in those individual state meetings, you can expect that if you're the state of Utah, which is where I'm at, we're going to have all of our entities that are at the actual conference, all of our attendees, and we're going to go around the room and introduce ourselves, see if there's any new names or new faces around the room, and talk about what our institutions are up to and just kind of give the whole state an update. It is a great opportunity, too, if you're a new professional, to ask questions, because you can kind of say, so what are you doing in your state for this particular incident? I know that each state kind of has something new going on, whether it's budgetary, whether it's policy, whether it's federal law. All of those are things that get brought up during those state meetings that last about an hour in length, so don't feel like asking a question is inappropriate. I think that's a good time. And then following that, we do have an evening event. Generally, it is the first night. There's always some sort of karaoke, which is highly attended and super fun, especially if your supervisor gets up and makes, makes a scene singing a song or something of that nature. But each evening we do have some sort of scheduled events. That way we can get folks connected. On Monday, there is also an opportunity to participate in the case study. If you, while registering, checkbox that you're going to be attending the case study, you'll be receiving some emails letting you know where those locations are specifically, and they're also in the guidebook. If for some reason you're like, okay, case study, maybe that's something I could be interested in, you're welcome to also apply for that at a later time. You can just go to the AIMHO website. On there's the contact information for our program committee, and you can just email them directly and say that you're interested, and they can add you to the list. Case study is essentially where we have an opportunity to get individuals together for a designated incident that's been written out. A small presentation is created, and we have folks separated out into teams of 5 to 8, depending on how large the groups are. They present these to a team of judges, and upon that, there is the opportunity to win essentially a gift at the end of the conference if your case study was chosen on how you presented it and handled the situation. It's super fun, and also it's a great way to kind of see what other universities are doing, because they do try to separate all of the groups into multiple universities, so you're not just getting the same folks every time. Also, throughout the conference, there will be designated booths. The ACUHO-i Foundation will have a booth. There is a diversity social justice booth. Also, there's poster sessions, so you can go through and look at individual posters from institutions on how they're dealing with policies or initiatives that are happening, all of which kind of get displayed all throughout the conference. And it's really neat to kind of just take a moment at this very busy time in the conference to kind of see what other institutions are doing. It is safe to take photos if the people presenting are allowing that. And we do try to post some of that onto our website afterwards for those poster sessions, but also just trying to introduce yourself to people at the booths. They're not trying to sell you anything. They're really just trying to get your interest and try to get you a little educated on some things that are happening that you may not be aware of. In addition to that, we have what we call the Corporate Partner Fair. Our corporate partners are extremely important to us because they help with the AIMHO region in a sense that the conference probably couldn't happen without them because they help sponsor the conference. But in addition to that, it gives the opportunity for entry and mid-level professionals to meet these corporate partners and ask questions that maybe their senior housing officers would be asking. We get people from a very wide variety, some of which are furniture companies, others are key card system companies, laundry. In addition to that, I mean, there can be a variance. There's security systems, there's bedding, there's all sorts, mattresses. It's really fun too because they also hand out samples, and who doesn't like cool samples? But it's really nice to get their business card because at some point, one of you will probably be in one of those decision-making roles, and it's nice to kind of know those corporate partners in those corporate entities so you can come back to your institution and kind of compare resources, especially if you're invited to some of those auxiliary meetings. At the conference, we also have multiple meetings, so please, if you're hungry, you will not be hungry when you leave the conference. They really do make sure that all of our conference attendees are fed completely. And so at the meals, we do try to make those working meetings. So my advice to new attendees is try not to sit with just your normal group. Try to spread out a little bit because the things that you're going to find whenever you sit with other groups, those conversations are different than what you're used to with your colleagues. And also, you can add to those conversations, which is also going to help you with that connections piece throughout the conference. And lastly, there is a piece where they call it Night on the Town. I know that our Las Vegas host committee has worked really hard on finding several restaurants that are within the local area that they'll be commuting us to, or it's within walking distance of the hotel. My advice is oftentimes we like to cluster together because safety in numbers, but try to find a group with other individuals that maybe you've met throughout the conference already that you want to get to know a little bit more, and go on that Night on the Town. Night on the Town is you go to a restaurant, you sit with a group of colleagues, and you really make an effort to just get to know them personally as well as within their professional lives. And so if you're able to do that and kind of make some new friends along the way, I think that's a win for everybody. Okay, and at the conference, the other opportunities that you might have are joining a committee. AIMHO doesn't run by just having an executive board. We need lots of members to contribute in order for us to be really successful. And some of the committee options are as follows. We have the programming committee, which is probably our largest committee. And those individuals help set the schedule. They determine the programs that will be at each of the sessions. They organize the keynote speaker. They help with guidebook and getting that set up. And they're kind of the behind-the-scenes people. You'll see them at the conference wearing a green lanyard. They do stand out because they generally tend to be the loud people kind of herding the attendees from one place to another. And they're kind of our information resource in addition to the host committee. AIMHO 365 is why we have this webinar today. They're the individuals who schedule webinars with past presenters, with presenters that may not have been selected for the conference, or they reach out to individuals that they think have some exceptional information that our attendees would be most interested in. And it's a really great committee too because it's behind the scenes, and then they do the recordings and place them onto our website. So they're always giving us supplemental trainings in professional development, which is a really great opportunity. We have our Diversity and Social Justice Committee. So they're often working with making sure there's inclusivity at our conferences. They've made sure in the past that we've had some gender neutral restrooms. They made sure also that we have specific groups and sessions for individuals who felt like they belonged to certain groups. They kind of poll our region to see what some of the changes are and some of the trends, so that way we can stay up to date with all of that as well. AIMHO College, we talked a little bit about attending, but we also have a committee who helps with AIMHO College specifically in getting those instructors, in organizing the meals, and organizing the curriculum and outcome for the actual AIMHO College. So if that's something you've already attended in AIMHO College, you know what it looks like, and you would like to contribute to it, I would really advise going in that route. It's a really great opportunity. Marketing is our committee that helps with a bit of the website, some of the social media, but mostly they do our AIMHO Angle, which is our digital zine that we send out to our attendees. And in there could be ranging from the president's note all the way to updates on individual states or new trends. That committee is really great at reaching out to individual institutions and gathering that information and putting it in magazine form. And then we have our assessment and information. They're often polling our region for information. They're also looking at ways for advancement through institutional research and information, trends. They're looking at a lot of data and trying to make sure that we are up with the times, which we truly appreciate. And then we have awards and recognition. Those individuals help us as the individual committees to make sure that we are recognizing our members within the region. They also at the conference help get all the awards ready for presenters, for our scholarship winners, for SPRs, for a multitude of things. They work kind of around the clock making sure that recognition efforts are being met. And lastly, we have our state provincial regional members who are a different person that we have representing each state, and as they do that, they call out to our senior housing officers and gain updates. If there's institutional updates, if there's new hires, if there's things that AIMHO could help them with at the institution, and then these SPRs report back to myself, the senior member at large, and we take that collective data and we see how we can continue to improve our region and help our individual members. Currently, we are looking for a new SPR for Utah, one for Colorado, and one for Nevada. So if anyone is interested in that, you'll be seeing emails coming out right after the conference, specifically asking for some nominations for individuals who are interested in that. Really great opportunity to reach out to others in the local area that you are representing. Lastly, we also have our executive board. I've mentioned them a little bit. They're kind of the entities behind the scenes, making sure that so much is happening and getting done. And currently we have Jeff Rosenberry, who's from MSC Billings, who is our past president. So he was our president last year, and he is now exiting out. In fact, he just took a position at Central Washington University, so he'll be transitioning completely out of the region, so we're going to miss him. Then we have Richard Clark, who is our current president, and he is from UNLV, which is the host institution for this year's conference. And his role is to really wrangle all of the cats. He makes sure that all of the projects and all of the timelines and all of the little individual details and minute things are getting done completely. That falls on his shoulders. Brad Shade is our president-elect, and he is coming in this year as our full president. So he's been working hard with many committees, understanding what our region's working towards, and also making some great strides at making sure there is clear communication and understanding within the region, which we truly appreciate. Maureen Ward, who is from Carroll College, she is our current secretary. Her position is actually coming up for re-election, so I know that many people have applied for that. So you'll be seeing during our business meeting, which happens during the lunch hour, some voting from each institution on certain pieces to our executive board as members are transitioning out. And Maureen kind of keeps all of the pieces together, all of the minutes, all of the documents. She updates guidebooks throughout the conference. She's a really great person to get in contact with for that sort of information. Brent Klingerman is from CU Boulder, and he is our treasurer currently, and so he's the money man. He has an extremely hard job just making sure that all dues are paid, all information is being sought out to make sure that we have our budget in alignment because we are pretty strict on our budget to make sure that everything that's paid in, there is a reason for it, and making sure that that's all divvied out appropriately. David Adderholt from MSU Bozeman, he is our entry member at large, also exiting this year, so that is another position that will be voted upon. And he's working with our AIMHO College this year and making sure that all of our entry members are being reached out to and trying to get additional people to attend our AIMHO conferences and just being involved in the association. And then I'm here, and I'm the senior member at large, and my role is working directly with our SPRs and making sure that our states are staying connected. And in addition to that, just making sure if there's any changes that we can make to help the AIMHO Association continue to grow. Those are the efforts that we strive towards, as well as selection of scholarships. So ultimately, that's AIMHO in a nutshell. I haven't seen anybody post any questions. But if you do have any questions, I have a list of all of those that are in attendance at today's session. And if you're interested, I would love to send you my contact information, and you're welcome to reach out to me throughout the conference. If you see me, I'd love for you to wave and say hi. I'm always interested in getting to know new members. And I really appreciate you taking the time today to kind of visit to talk about AIMHO, because I'm really passionate about this, and I think as you attend the conference, you're going to grow more passionate about it as well. So I'll give a little bit of time to see if any questions pop up.
Great, and just while I wait for some questions maybe, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Jessica for taking the time to share her knowledge about the AIMHO region with us. The association appreciates everything that you do for our members, Jessica. As a reminder, this webinar was recorded and will be posted on AIMHO 365 YouTube page. The link is available through the aimho.org website for future review. And just again, a reminder to be on the lookout there for all of our future webinars that post to the AIMHO website. Please take a moment to complete the online survey that will appear once we end the webinar. And again, a big thank you to Jessica from the region. And I just hope everybody has a great day. Do we have any questions coming up?
I'm not seeing any, so I think that's going to conclude our webinar today, folks. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Jessica. Have a great day, everyone.